Howdy, everyone. Good morning, good Friday. Hope you guys are all doing well. I've got a little bit of time here before I got to start heading out. I wanted to go over today's trades. I think they're really two super core examples of how I'm trading right now. So I think they're just really good to go over, and I think for myself, not only, but for everybody else, this will give some kind of clearance if anyone had any questions. So. Yeah, let's get right into it. I kind of messed up. I already erased my levels from the previous hour, because once the hour changes at this 7 o'clock, that's the close of the 4 hour candle. So I delete basically everything except for the daily candles. Regardless, I'll show you without levels, just as a pure naked chart. So here in the morning, I open up my charts. I notice we're kind of heading in this downward momentum, but it's kind of not strong. It's just in the downward area. So I would have liked to see a strong push down in order to confirm that. But what ended up happening is right at 9:15 here, we get this really incredibly strong green candle upwards, and you can see it's a big volume bomb. Flips right over to the other side. Same thing on the 30-minute. And so that was exactly what I needed to basically confirm a long trade. So again, over on the 5-minute as well, you can see divergence starting to happen. We get this lower high, you could call it, on the momentum, and then it pushes upwards. So here at the 9:30 market open, we had already closed this 2B. The 2B being let's open this up. The 2B being this candle close here. So this is your lowest low. Then we get a close above the high of that candle. Then we push up. I wouldn't consider this a pullback. That little tiny wick, that's too small. I don't consider that a pullback. So we're still waiting for a pullback at the 9:30 market open. We get this wonderful pullback, which is exactly what we needed. And to be completely transparent, it had pushed up just a tiny bit before it pulled back, and then it pulled back, and I tried grabbing it on the break of this high here, which normally is fine, but the fact that we had pushed up a little bit here makes that the actual technical high you want to break above. And so it pulled back, stopped me out, and then I had confidence in this trade. I knew I just got a little hasty on that one, so I got back in right on the break of this high, and of course worked perfectly right up to another level. There was another level up here too that it traded right to. So that was the first trade. Really great trade. You could have been one and done with that, no problem. And then the second trade I took over here was the short. And the reason I think this is another good example is for two reasons. One, it's not your typical 2B reversal like this one, where it's just you get a completed 2B pullback and you trade the break above. Easy. This one, we got a 2B, so we have this is our highest high right here. We go high here, then we have to close below the lows of this candle. So we close with here, this candle. Then we pull back, and we get a pretty significant pullback. And this is actually an opportunity I had missed. So in my other video, I go over the lower time frame wick fills, and so there were a lot of levels here, but there was clear space in between these candles, because these are actually pretty sizable candles. I mean, look at the size of these candles pre-market compared to these, just to give you some perspective. But even though, then this is a little bit more complex. This is just me after studying this for months and months, things I've noticed. So if you're just getting into this 2B, stick with how I traded in this first example. But once you understand a little bit more, then you can see we had this completed 2B pullback, this 2B, then we pulled back, and then I like to look for another pullback on confirmation. So it's kind of weird. We get basically two pullbacks, but it's just because it's a new candle, it's a new 5-minute candle. There's a lot of intricacies. My odds significantly go up whenever I wait for this second pullback. So we get the second pullback, and then you notice this is all just one big body. This is one just big candle body. 53 pips, which is plenty. You could trade this entire candle. You could trade half this candle and still make your nut. So when it pulled back, there was just enough, there was clear space in between this candle that I was able to trade it. So after it pulled back, you could trade just like through these levels until you get to the bottom here. Then obviously you can trade the break below again, but this is a pretty extended candle, so I would have waited for a pullback, and of course that's what we got. So I was actually away for this candle. In case that wasn't clear, we got another example of it here. This one's a little bit more clear, and I have the levels for it. So let me show you. Okay. So you can see I don't have the blue annotated, but those are my daily levels. Pink are my hourly, and my red are my 4-hour levels. And so again, what we got was this push down to this level here. This is at 6:55. We don't trade into hourly closes, especially 4-hour closes, because those are when reversals happen. I don't know why. I think just algos are set that way, just people trade that way. I don't know why, but at the hourly closes you always get some funkiness where it either will reverse on you, or it just will chop around for the last few minutes and then finally go once the hour closes, the candle closes. So we don't trade this, we don't trade into this candle close, but then at the 7 or 10 o'clock candle open, again we get that pullback for confirmation, and then you can see right here we have between the close of this candle, this doji candle right here, and the low, this wick, that is 19 pips, which is plenty. I'm only looking for around 10 usually, so that means I have even more space to trade through. So when we get this pullback here after the hourly close, I traded through this level because we have the clear space, and now we have this wick fill. Rather than trading the break below, we can trade inside here. I grabbed it, and sure enough, it pushed right down to that level and even continued further. But I only care about getting my target and getting out. So that was that trade there. But that's like this is a perfect example of that lower time frame wick fill, because typically the way I posted a chart recently. Let me see if I can draw on here for you guys real quick. Whoops. Just to give you some idea. Okay, so just to give a real quick lesson, I'm sure everyone already knows this, but trend, it doesn't become a trend until you get this break of this low, correct? So, and what a 2B reversal is imagine we get a high, which is that candle high, then we get a close below it, then we get a pullback for confirmation, and then we get another push down. So we're closing below the low of the high candle, then we pull back into it, and then once we get this break here, that's basically us confirming trend, and this is our money area. That's where we care to trade through. So the reason I'm explaining this is because typically I like to trade the break, the lows, or in the long case from this morning, I would have to trade the break of those highs, because that means that the trade basically look like this. If we're on a line chart, put in a low, we broke way above it, pulled back, and then I have to trade the break of this high. So what I did in my case this morning is I kind of traded a little early, and it messed around a little bit, and then it finally, once it broke that true high, then it went. That's that there. So the reason I'm saying this is because now we know that if we get these targets, these wicks like this, with enough range within them, the likelihood, as long as the momentum is in our favor, is that it's going to fill that wick. It's going to test the bottom of that wick, and it might not break through it, but all we care about is that it's going to go from A to B and give us that opportunity to trade through it, which is exactly what happened today. I traded it a couple times this week as well. Last week, it's been working really well. I've just been studying them a lot, and I think, yeah, it's just a lot of potential. So I think I am going to leave this video here. Yeah, let me know. Like I always say, let me know if you guys have questions. I love when I get questions. I posted some stuff on Twitter. I've been getting questions on there. Really enjoying that. But yeah, I'll just leave it there. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest or a great weekend, and catch you guys on the next one. Later.